Greetings, duelists, and welcome to another video. So, Justice Hunters is right around the corner, which means we have to learn and brush up on the 3 flagship archetypes that are from that set. And the first one I want to cover is DracoTail. The timing behind this video could not have been any more better, because I literally was about to make a deck report on DracoTail prior to the release of some new cards that are coming in Doom of Subdimension. Before we talk about the Doom of Dimension cards, we need to talk about DracoTail first as a deck, because I feel this deck is actually going to do something in the TCG very soon. So for those who are not familiar, DracoTail is a fusion archetype that composes of a level 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 monster, and the fusion level 6 and level 8 monster. Prior to the support in Dooms of Dimension, we have every single DracoTail attribute except for Light. And we had a fusion that works with 5 mana, and a fusion that works with Lucius. Also prior to this, we have 2 spellcasters and 3 dragons. So the gimmick behind the archetype is basically each DracoTail, upon being used as a fusion material, can set a spell, can set a trap card. And all their fusions have really absurd effects, but they also have recursion abilities. If 2 or more monsters are sent to the graveyard while these are in the graveyard. I'll cover more on DracoTail at another time. But now we're just gonna talk about like what has been DracoTail's performance in the OCG, and what were they missing, or what could have been done better for them as an archetype. So the performance on DracoTail in the OCG has been very well received. It's not the best deck, neither is the second best deck. However, upon the first month, this deck was actually taking storm. A lot of people were just not prepared on what people were trying to do with the deck. The deck was very creative in a lot of avenues, and like you often seen people that just mix the DracoTail cards with just a few other hybrids like King of the Swamp, Primites, Dark Magician, most lamely of all. Now, I'm gonna show you something real quick. This is going to be on our next deck report, so I won't talk too much into this. But this is what happens when you want to get a little bit too creative with DracoTail. This is me facing a Reddit duel the other day. It is post Justice Hunters, and look at this. We have Shenling 1, 2, 3, and 4. This will pop a spell trap. This will send a Shaddoll monsters. This is going to fuse into another monster, and this will have recursion in the end phase, depending if it's still on the board or not. And that's not even talking about follow-up that the archetype itself will create, because this will also set a DracoTail spell trap. But enough of that. Let's go back to the DracoTail cards. As you saw from that replay, this deck can get really nasty when combined with other archetypes. Okay, so the first new card we're gonna talk about is called DracoTail Sting. Prior to Sting, we had Flame, which was a spell negate, and we had DracoTail Horn, which was a monster bounce for an attack position monster, either yours or your opponent. So we already had disruption for monsters, and we had a disruption for spell cards. What will DracoTail Sting do? Well, DracoTail Sting's effect reads, target one monster and or one spell or trap in your opponent's graveyard, banish them, then you can place one DracoTail card from your graveyard or banishment to the bottom of the deck except Sting. Then draw one card. So, this card is really cool in the sense of, like, as we are getting more and more archetypes, prior to Justice Hunter's release or DOOD's release, we keep getting archetypes that revolve around recursion from the graveyard. DracoTail Sting is just a really good tool against that. I also like the fact that it is optional to banish as per a trap, or you can just banish one of any category. This can come up against like graveyard decks that has spell cards. One perfect example is Eldritch. Another example would be like the DracoTail Mirror Match. This also is really gem relevant because of Gem Knights. We already saw that Gem Knights did really well in the North American WCQ, so just banishing their Gem Knight fusion spell in their graveyard is also a big deal. This is also a really big deal against Luna Light. This can banish Luna Light Perfume. Like, there are some applications behind this card that are just really justified. That being said, I don't know if this card is a mandatory main deck staple. I think this card is relegated more to the side deck. Once you know the strategy that you're facing, and you know like cards that are just vulnerable in the graveyard to like just real banishing, this is a searchable card. Like, all the DracoTail monsters can set the Sting. So we already have a way to make Sting work like post side deck, which is really, really cool. I will give this card a 7 out of 10. Maybe an 8, just because of the splashability. Now let's talk about the other main deck monster. This is DracoTail Phrixl. DracoTail Phrixl reads, if this card is normal or special summoned, you can target one DracoTail monster in your graveyard except Phrixl. Special summon it, then return one monster you control to the hand. If this card is sent to the graveyard as a material for a fusion summon, you can set a DracoTail spell trap directly from your deck. So thematically, this makes sense with the theme. We already had a level 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So this being level 2 just fits like the number correlation between all the archetypes. It is kind of strange that we do have a dragon as a level 3, a level 6, and a level 7. I would have thought that we would have had like even and odd numbers. Like, for example, this being level 5 and like 5 mana being level 6. That would have made a lot more sense, but hey, I didn't decide the deck. So the other synergy that we have here is now we have the missing attribute for all the DracoTails. Like, we have a dark, we have an earth, we have a fire, we have a water, we have a wind. We were only missing a light attribute DracoTail. Now, this reborning a DracoTail is also really cool. This reborning Grammel just makes it problematic for your opponent. Like, this reborning Altharion is not a big deal, but hey, just bringing back a 3000 monster, like, also could come up. And then just bouncing the Phrixl itself back to the hand. It's really cool. You just keep having more recursion upon monster you can summon. This can bring back Lucius. Lucius can trigger. This will be in your hand. And this already fulfills the entire fusion summon for a DracoTail by herself, like post turn 1. Because you can just normal her, bring back Lucius, this goes back to the hand, and then Lucius can just add you the 5 mana, and then 5 mana can fuse into Grammel or Altharion. Now, there is another application behind Phrixl that is really, really important. Prior to this card's release, DracoTail was not as splashable as it is right now. This card changes everything for DracoTail, and I'll show you why. So, there is one special detail behind Phrixl that makes it very important for fusion decks in general. Let's put all the DracoTails in the graveyard. So, because of DracoTail Phrixl, we now have a DracoTail monster that can make all of these. Pretty scary, right? Yes, you can even make Sanctifier because this is a light spellcaster. And I don't think I need to explain to you how powerful this card is. Like, we have 3 cards banned in the TCG and like 5 cards banned in Master Duel because of this card. So the fact that we have a way to synergize with the DracoTail archetype to make this card is pretty scary. Same with Albion. Like, Branded already has a few hits, and like just having an in-way engine of getting to Albion that just works with Phrixl, works with a DracoTail monster, is also very strong. Despias are no stranger to this either. This also works with like the invoke stuff, and like, yeah, like here are different cards that just work alongside all of this. Like, Alistair now makes a lot of sense in DracoTail because Alistair can make Mekaba using Phrixl, and Mekaba is the best invoked fusion monster. Phrixl is now a brilliant fusion target. Now we can fuse with DracoTail monsters for Seraphonite, and we already talked about how strong Gem Knight is, like here in the TCG. This topped the North American WCQ and even made it all the way to top 4. So yes, Gem Knights being splashable again as an engine for another fusion deck is a really big deal. Shaddoll Construct, the same thing. Like, Gem Knight Fusion was played in the Gem Knight deck, and what made it really powerful is the Shaddoll cards just functioned as in-engine breakers to just contest against your opponent's board while also giving you engine for your deck. DracoTail can now do the same thing as Gem Knight does because of Phrixl. Imagine that you're just using for a construct and you're sending like Shaddoll, Squamata, and Phrixl. Like all of a sudden you have like construct to send, you have Squamata to send, you have Phrixl to set, and you're probably gonna set like the DracoTail spells. And that already starts your engine while also breaking your opponent's board. And then like later in the turns, you can just do something like, for example, Orgula to just grab back Phrixl, and then you can normal the Phrixl, and Phrixl can just bring back one of these as well. Or you can use Pan and use Pan's effect to bring back the Phrixl in your graveyard, and use the Phrixl to just reborn another one. Like, this card just snowballs a lot of advantage, like real quick. And just this being the attribute for all of these monsters is also really strong. This also can make Granted with Null as well. Like, Blazing Cartesia is already being played in DracoTail because of her ability to just allow fusion summoning for Azerion while dodging Retaliating Sea. Now there's easier ways to make Grand with Null as well because of Phrixl. So yeah, this card is really, really strong. I think this card really changes the dynamic of DracoTail. And best believe I will be abusing this. But yeah, I hope you found this informative to your liking and understanding. More videos coming soon. Keep practicing and keep dueling.